Okay, guys. So let me see. I gotta wait like 15 seconds in case it cuts off. So right now I am on Maui right now. I am just kind of focused on my mental health. I'm getting away from my little island, and it has been good. I'm in my 5th week of my anonymous support group. I don't know if I told you guys, but every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. New York time, I'm always part of a group, and it's online. It's a Zoom meeting. And the first week I did it, it was really a tough time for me. Second week, shaky. Third week, still shaky and things like that. Now I'm on the 5th week and I feel better about it. I recognize that, it's kind of like this. Imagine you're in a group and everybody, let's just say, I don't want to trigger anybody, but like, let's say everybody in the group is fixated on, I don't know, like they get angry that their little bag is, this is going to sound really stupid, right? But let's say everybody is like fixated about like OCD or something, right? Now people, if they talk about their triggers and they talk about OCD, they will, if you have a group of people who are, let's say, OCD, and they say, this is a problem, this has been overwhelming in my life, this has like caused me all sorts of issues. Once you have everybody all kind of connect to each other, you realize like everybody's human. Everybody, like, it's not just you who has maybe OCD. There's other people too. Everybody struggles with it. And you have like basically like a little safe group where we're like, okay, we all have OCD. And by the way, I'm not in an OCD group, by the way. But we all have OCD, and yeah, we'll all try to be together. It's like a kumbaya, like a big group hug. And maybe you guys think it sounds a little silly here, but I think just having support groups means so much, because it tells you that whatever you're facing, you're not alone. I'm a big fan and a big supporter of going to a 12-step program. There are several things that are labeled as like a 12-step program, one of them being Alcohol Anonymous. I hear that the success rate for some of these programs isn't so high, but hear me out. I truly believe if you enroll yourself in any 12-step program, you don't even have to pay money, okay? This stuff is free. If you enroll yourself in a 12-step program, you are telling yourself, right? Like, hey, you have a problem, you want to change, and even if you feel like a freaking loser, the fact that you want to change kind of makes you like closer to being a winner. Even if you stumble, like, because people who have a problem, sometimes they just wallow in that problem, right? Like, imagine, right? Let's say you have OCD controlling your life, like I said. You will tell yourself, okay, I have OCD, I feel overwhelmed, I have, I don't know, anxiety, okay, and then it just kind of goes into like a spiral. You see, like, it keeps continuing onwards until you break the habits. And even if you try to distract yourself from it, I don't think, this is just my opinion, okay? I don't think that people who have certain issues, especially if they're big issues, I don't think distractions solve it. I really don't. Like, if you have depression, for example, and I'm going to be upfront about it, right? Because I've spoken about depression many times in my life, and on my streams. If you have depression, you have to figure out why are you depressed, and you have to confront those feelings. If you have certain issues, you have to figure out, like, why do these things kind of keep showing up? Is it because it's some kind of past trauma? Is it because you have bad coping skills? Is it because of this or that? But whatever it is, you gotta just like go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it feels uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest, it's very uncomfortable to talk about certain issues. But again, if you're in a support group, like a 12-step program, and again, let's say you have an issue with OCD, right? If you have a group of people who do have OCD, you're gonna feel so much better opening up, because everybody has the same issue. Some people will have it worse than others. So imagine if you come across a person who says, my OCD is so bad that I cannot talk to other people unless they use, I don't know, hand sanitizer before they come before they come like 10 feet in front of me. Like, I refuse to leave my house because I have so much OCD. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you come across a person like that and you're just OCD about, I don't know, certain things like being in sets, then your problem isn't going to seem as bad as their problem. And I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to a person who has a worse issue, but when you put it in that light, you realize, like, you know what, if they have a worse issue than me, and they said that they've improved from whatever they were before, then maybe I have a fighting chance to be better. You see? So whatever you guys are going through, right? Whatever issues, it might not even be like, it doesn't just have to be like a 12-step program, but there's also support groups. Like, let's say you lost a loved one, there's support groups for that. Let's say you lost, give me something, for example. Let's say you have an issue with like overeating, there's a support group for that. Whatever problem you have, I'm going to say it straight out. Do not focus about the problem. Focus on the solution, because once you focus on the solution and you don't just say, oh, I have OCD and it's overwhelming me, but I just gotta like, just forget about my OCD, you will feel more free. And for me personally, I feel much more free and much more happier now saying, hey, these are the problems that I have. I have a much better sense why these problems occur. And you know what? I feel like I have a support group. And my group that I'm in, we're not a very big group at all. Part of it is because I'm in a very small city group. But I feel so much better checking in with this group, and I prioritize this. Every single Tuesday, I will make sure, I don't care if I'm in a bar on Maui, I will go and log in and I'll say, I gotta make time for this group. I don't wanna ever say, oh, I'm too busy to go into this group meeting. If I have like, if something comes up or there's like something that I absolutely cannot fit in this meeting, then of course, right, I can't do the meeting. But I love having this group because this group has really been one of those things where we know each other in a sense. We talk about our issues, and it just feels good. Sometimes we talk about things like, oh, these are the kind of things that have been going on in our lives, and this is the kind of ways that we've handled things in the past, and it's not good. And when you have that moment of self-reflection, as uncomfortable as it is, it feels very free. So these groups, it's confidential, so whatever you say, right, it's you don't have to worry about that stuff. Like, that's like kind of like, I don't want to call it like a bro code, but it is. So if any of you guys are hesitant about, let's say, going to, I don't know, one of these kind of meetings, please do not feel ashamed about it. You gotta think about it. It is worse to suffer in silence and have certain issues control your life than have some person on the internet say, oh yeah, this person over here, yeah, they have this kind of issue. Like, most of us are absolutely nobodies. And I think that even if we come across, let's say, I think like Ben Affleck, for instance, I think he checked himself into AA, but I might be remembering it wrong. When I heard about it, I thought, like, good on him. There are some people out there, I think David Duchovny, he had a SE, you know what I'm talking about, addiction, and he was open up about it. I was thinking, wow, that's really transparent. But the fact that he was transparent about it, even though some people would say that's like TMI, I think it empowers people to also want to seek out a support group, or if they feel like, hey, they have that kind of addiction to them, maybe they should get help, because David Duchovny got it too. See? So I don't think seeking a support group is a shameful experience. I think it's an empowering experience, because not only do we have a more healthy relationship with ourselves, but we have a more healthy relationship with other people as well. Because you do not, let's say if you have an addiction or some kind of OCD thing, right? You will realize how destructive that is. And once you take control of it and say, hey, you know what, this has to frickin' stop, or it has to be a lot more manageable, you will feel more free. And for me, I can be embarrassed about certain things and say, yeah, this is going to continue on and on and on, but I have faith. I have absolutely faith that moving forward in the future, I will have certain issues way more under control, because I have this kind of system in place where it's like, okay, this is my little group over here, and even if I move over to another group, we're all recognizing that we're part of a journey. So there are people, let's say, for example, right, like I told you, like people who overeat, or people who, let's say they have something like a diabetes or something like that. Once you're in a group, you don't feel like you're the only one with like diabetes. You'd be like, okay, I have diabetes, this other person has diabetes, they have health issues, I have health issues, and you all feel, fine. So I only mention diabetes because someone that I know, they said that they want to start a YouTube channel because they want to share knowledge of diabetes with the world, because they find that some people, when they have diabetes, when they first get diagnosed with it, it's very overwhelming for them. So they want to share all the experience that they've had, helping someone with diabetes for about, I think it's like, like a number of years. They want to share this kind of stuff so it helps other people. So everybody is on like a different step on their journey, let's say diabetes management. But yeah, if you're in a support group, maybe you could say, hey, this is how you feel about diabetes. I can, like, here's some information or something like that, or these are normal feelings that you're going through, this is the process of it. And, these are some resources that helped me. And just feeling like you're part of a group that also is going through the same thing as you are, it's a really good feeling. And I don't talk to this group more than once a week, but it makes me feel really good to check in with this group and just say, hey, let's talk about our things, let's talk about, how we're doing. And it's great, it's really, I can feel like wins, I can feel like I'm more mentally capable of recognizing certain things. You see where I'm getting at? So maybe some people will understand where I'm coming from. Maybe some people will just say like, oh, that sounds great, Erica. Well, I'm stuck having an overeating addiction. Like, again, you do not focus on your problem, focus on the solution, because as long as you keep focusing on the problem, you will never, ever, ever find the solution. How did I find the group? I was actually told to read a book. And then once I read a book, there was a mention about this kind of group. And I immediately joined the group because I thought to myself, I need help. I recognize that I need help and I want to change. And it's not going to be easy to change, but I'm doing it. I'm not going to tell you that like, oh yeah, I'm good, I can just stop going to this group. Because like any support group, what I don't want is, I don't want to lose the support and then just think, if I have a situation, I don't want to be like, oh, okay, I'm, it's not good, I feel all alone again. So the people in my group, some of them have been in this group for years and years and years, and they say their life has improved heavily because of it, because while they recognize they have an issue, they feel much more stronger to face certain things because they recognize their problems. You see, like, if you have an issue with overeating and you're trying to get better for it, even if you fall short on it, you'll say, okay, hey, you guys, I know I was doing really good with like stopping myself from overeating, but I was feeling emotional one day, so I overate and I feel bad about it. But you know what, like, I want to go back and like get back into the routine. And people will be like kind of like cheering you on. They'd be like, yeah, I fell short too. You have basically this round table kind of discussion where it's like, you hear about people having successes, you hear about people falling short, and if someone falls short, it's just like, okay, well, next week, we'll check back in and we'll try to do better. So that's the thing that I love so much about my group. And I recognize that some people, they join multiple groups because, again, people have multiple issues. It's not just one thing. So that is something that has benefited from me. And there were certain things in my life that I recognize were really bad, destructive habits. And it's scary to me because I never realized how bad it was. You see, it's like you have to have this recognition, and then you kind of look at yourself and you're like, you know what, that's not a good thing at all. Like, that's really not good. But they're like, I don't want to get too much in detail what these issues are, but I will say this. When I look back, I think to myself, I could have handled things better. And although I feel a sense of embarrassment, a lot of embarrassment about certain things, I think to myself, at the end of the day, I needed to have this recognition within me so that I can be better. in the future. You see, like, you don't have to have failures dictate how your future is going to be. So if you have a problem with overeating, and let's say you have a history of you've been overeating for like 10 years, that doesn't mean for the next 10 years you're also going to be overeating. You make the conscious choice. And if you feel bad, if you feel guilty, or if you feel so ashamed about overeating for the past 10 years, that doesn't make you better for the future. So you got to think about solutions so that way your future is better, rather than just focusing on the present and then just focusing on the problem. So that is the thing that I wanted to share with you guys. I want to keep this stream a little short because I don't want to go off and just have this whole rambling thing. But that is how I found my group. That is the benefits that I see. And I just want to just say, hey, there are things that I fell short on, and I want to be better in the future. And the things that happened in the past is the past. Like, I cannot beat myself up about certain things in the past, because how does that benefit me as an individual? It does nothing but do guilt. It does nothing but guilt. It does nothing but shame, and it prevents me from moving forward in the future. Because again, I don't want to stay in the negative space back in the past. One thing I do want to mention really quick is some people have said that in the past, my past streams, I mentioned a number of times that I had a lot of guilt about a situation, and I kept going on and on and on about a situation. And then it was, I thought about it and I thought, yeah, why am I living in the past? Like, the past is done. I can't go ahead. Like, it's fine to acknowledge the past, but I can't let the past drag me back and just create like a dark headspace today, and then the future, maybe the tomorrow I'm going to be, you see where I'm getting at? Like, it doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge the past, but what it says is that I focus more on building myself up, so I can say those are past things. Let's think forward, Erica. Let's be stronger. Let's be more solutions based, and let's be better. Because I think better is much better than just like oh, I'm so ashamed and I'm so sad and things like that. Okay, I know it's tough for you guys. I know it's difficult, where you guys might say, oh, but Erica, I have so much depression, I have so much anxiety when it comes to this or that, or I can't, I have a hard time, let's say, I don't know, like, let's say you want to join like a pottery class, okay? Or let's say you want to join a tennis class, right? You say like, I want to join a tennis class, Erica, but I have so much anxiety about joining tennis. Oh, I don't think I could do it. It's just overwhelming. What if I suck playing tennis? Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. You might feel like you suck at playing tennis. I suck at playing tennis too. You know what you should do? You should join an anxiety support group, because when you join an anxiety support group, you could share your feelings about how much anxiety you feel joining that tennis class, and then you'll find out other people have anxiety. Maybe some people have anxiety going to the grocery store. Maybe some people have anxiety, going to a shopping mall, right? And if you don't have that anxiety walking into a grocery store, thank you. Thank you so much. Gotta give you the cookie money directly now. Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely enjoy that cookie. But yeah, once you put that into perspective and you think another person has anxiety, you will think to yourself, okay, they have an anxiety going to a grocery store. I don't have anxiety going to the grocery store, but 2 weeks ago, they let's say they have anxiety going to the grocery store, and then they, 2 weeks later, they say, oh yeah, I finally walked in the grocery store. That feeling will make you feel empowered, and then you'll say, well, if they can get into the grocery store, and now maybe I should sign up for that tennis class. So the energy kind of flows within the group, and even if you fall short, when you see people improve, it encourages you to improve as well. And that's the beautiful thing about these support groups. Do not just let your anxiety or whatnot dictate your life, because I don't want that for you guys. And that is all I wanted to say today. I want to keep it short. I don't know if this is getting a little too long, but I'm happy about certain things, and it's not like I don't acknowledge the past. The past is part of who I am, but I will not let it define me being in the future. And I think that there is no shame in trying to get help. It takes a lot of courage and bravery for certain people to acknowledge publicly like they've been dealing with an issue for 10 years, 15 years. Maybe some people have dealt with certain issues for 40 years, and why should you be embarrassed about having issues? We all have issues, but what I think is the big difference is that, do you let those issues ruin your life, or do you let those issues kind of help propel you forward so you're a better, stronger person? And you can use your experience, if you do, and when you do see successes in your life, to hopefully, motivate others as well. So I encourage you guys, seek a support group, whatever your issues are: depression, anxiety, OCD, overeating. If you have, cancer, go join a cancer support group. If you have diabetes, join a diabetes support group. And get the support you guys need. And when you get that support group, that support, and you feel it, please remember to pass it on, because I want more people in the world to get support. And I feel that if more people have the support that they need for their issues, the world will be a better place. You will have less people living in their head. You will have less people having depression or anxiety, or whatever it is. And we will be a more loving planet as a result. So I will talk to you guys later, and you guys take care. And I want to keep my stream short, Christoph, because I worry that if I don't keep my stream short, then people won't watch it. And I do want people to watch my stuff, because I do try to send off a message, and I hope that people understand this and they really take it to heart, because I don't want to just be saying this stuff and then just having people be like blah blah blah. I actually want you guys to have changes in your life, and I want you guys to see some of the benefits that I've seen in my life as well. And but all that stuff, you guys, I'll talk to you guys later, and you guys take care. And and by the way, here's a little hint: I have my gimbal. I love my gimbal so much. Okay, you guys. Okay, see ya. See ya. Ooh.